What's going on, everybody? Chrome here. Special episode of Lazy Booking with a very special guest over here to my left. But hey, like, subscribe, follow. Let's roll the video.
Oh my God! I'm embarrassed! You're flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
All right, guys. Welcome back. Lazy Booking special episode coming at you this week. We have a very special guest on a very big weekend for Impact Wrestling, Slammiversary rolling around this weekend. And we have one of the funnest, friendliest, and entertaining guys in professional wrestling joining us today, Mr. Rich Swann. Rich, how are you?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm sitting here out here in Orlando, Florida. Weather is great. Looking at my wife, my little boy, they swimming in the pool right now. I'm feeling good. Sitting back thinking, I never would have thought that I'd be tagging with one of my best friends, leading up to one of the biggest shows in professional wrestling history, Sami Callihan. And it's gonna be a pretty awesome weekend.
Oh my God, I know, absolutely. We're gonna dive into that pretty early too. First, we're gonna pay a quick bill. Specialized physical therapy. Our doctor, Dr. Paul Vidal, Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can find him on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. No appointment necessary. So if you have any kind of physical ailments or anything that you need, make sure you guys go check out our doc. He's gonna take good care of you.
Check him out, baby.
There you go. Our topic, before we dive into that, because it's interesting, because Rich, you know, we're in the Philadelphia area, based out of there, CZW country, where I know that's where you kind of cut your teeth a whole lot
yes,
there.
Sir.
Talking about your history with Sami Callihan, and it actually does kind of roll into the question. I asked this specifically to you because you are someone who has gone through the independent circuit, as well as you were around through the NXT developmental system, right? So the topic we had today was that it's essential, or it is the best thing for a pro wrestler to go through the independent circuit. Do you agree or do you disagree as far as development wise?
You know, sometimes people, they find in this business that it doesn't matter where you come from, what the path was cut for you to get into this business. Sometimes, you know, if you look at, you know, certain people and you know, wrestling is subjective. And I tell you what, I've been in the ring with some of the best. But like, if you look at somebody like Baron Corbin, who hasn't been on the circuit, right? But I tell you what, you can have a great match with anyone. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. You can have a great match with anybody. So it's like, man, you just never know. You look at somebody like a Kevin Owens, who, yes, he can have a great match with anyone. He proved it with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, who, you know, come on, hey, Steve. Goddamn, Stone Cold Steve Austin don't whoop my ass, but hey, you're a little bit past your prime. You know what I'm saying? But like WrestleMania, like, yo, he can work with anybody. And that's somebody who cut his teeth in the independent circuit. It's like, man, it's so hard because like you just don't know who's out there, and especially if they have loved this business, you know, like since they were a kid, and they just never ever like found the indies, and then they just so happen to like get a WWE contract or an AEW contract or whatever, or an Impact, or like, you know what I'm saying, and then like they just started killing it because they know what wrestling is. Like, there's those people out there, so like, man, you can't just like look and subjectify the indies as the only place where you're going to find wrestlers that are going to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
a great point. I think you're absolutely spot on, because you talk about but it's always an interesting debate that people have because, you know, specifically, I think as far as what WWE's done with their Performance Center, and for a while there when they were having all those releases, right, they were doing that college program and they're just kind of pulling people who have no experience in the ring. But look at some of them like a Tiffany Stratton, who in their NXT program right now is the women's champion and has come a long way in a year.
Yeah,
but then
100%.
Yeah, and then you see so many other talented people who, like, I love the Battleground shows, which you've become a staple of those in the Philadelphia area. And if you guys do get to come out, I mean, Rich he's done pretty much every one for at least the last year.
Yeah, man. They're always amazing too. Like, especially to see that building. That's where I like cut my teeth, in that building.
Yeah.
And like I've seen it to where like it was packed to the gills, and I've seen it to where like there were 25 people in there, you know, for you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, man, every single time like Battleground Championship Wrestling be, you know, like it just pours it out. Like all the fans come out and support. And I love that, you know.
Yeah,
it reminds me.
It does kind of remind you of the old ECW, and with some of the talent that they bring in, and then again when, you know, it's not just like hardcore wrestling or anything, right? There's everything there's something for everyone. There's nostalgia acts. You know, it seems like they bring in a nostalgia act to do something. This time it was Luke Williams, Bushwhacker Luke, who's been on our show. Previously they had the Nasty Boys, and they had the tribute to the Extreme and all these different shows. But then they bring in the guys like yourself who, I mean, you guys put on phenomenal matches. You know, we had the title tournament, and there's something for everybody. And again, if you haven't seen Rich's entrance with Lionel Richie live, it is phenomenal.
Hey man, it's fun, especially because like everybody they participate, and it's just something to, you know, remind the people like, hey brothers, I haven't changed one bit. Like, let's go. I'm all about you guys, and I'm all about putting on a show. Let's do it. And like everybody participates in it. And like I've got a new song, you know what I'm saying, that I use everywhere else, but like in the arena and for that crowd specifically, like I'll never change that there. And if I ever go back to like PWG or something like that, like it's always gonna be all night long. Like I can't, you know what I'm saying?
It has to be. It has to be.
yeah. 100%.
No, it is. It's a lot of fun to see. But let's go back to kind of the beginning, right? Some of your influences, guys like Eddie Guerrero. I know that you were really big on when you were growing up, or getting into pro wrestling. Who are some of your other influences that kind of got you obviously intrigued and jumping in?
Definitely Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Benoit, Mysterio, Psychosis, Too Cold Scorpio, like Booker T, Harlem Heat, Stevie Ray, like those guys, Bret Hart.
Scorpio
like
too, by the way. He's
bro.
And he jumped off the top rope.
Hey, trust me, I felt it firsthand in December. I want to say it was December 8th of 2022. This dude sat on my face with the goddamn going kiss that don't goddamn miss. Too Cold Scorpio with that goddamn that backflip moonsault leg drop. Sat right on my face. I was spitting blood for a month.
Was that at the arena?
Yeah, that was at the arena.
I was there. I was first row for that. I remember that.
And like I'll tell you what, man, he's done that to a couple people. Too Cold. He done it to Sami Callihan. He done it to goddamn Kenny Dykstra. He done it to Eddie Kingston. He's done it to Chris Hero. He's done it to a lot of people. And Drake Younger. And I'll tell you what, me and my boy Uha Nation, aka Apollo Crews in WWE, in Japan, we would rewind over and over and over again him doing that backflip moonsault to Kenny Dykstra being like, God dang, I don't ever want to end up in this position. And then December 8th, 2022, I look up and I'm like, God damn, I am in this position. There comes Too Cold. Man, but like he is, I'd probably say him, like Sting, Bret Hart, like Stone Cold, especially. Like those guys, like definitely like my inspirations. Like love it, and of course the High Flyers, and like when I finally like discovered independence, Ruckus, Trent Acid, Johnny Casimir, J.C. Bailey, Sick Nick Mondo, Hero, Claudio, those guys, like Mike Quackenbush, like those guys, like influenced me, made me feel like I can do it.
So many of them are it's crazy too, because you mentioned a lot of these names, right? I look back at, so when you like really cut your teeth and started in CZW, it's almost like when people go back and they talk about like the WWE class that had like Orton, Cena, and OVW. It was like Orton, Cena, Lesnar, Batista.
Yeah.
There was all these guys down there. Obviously, they were a little bit different because they were more of like the big personality guys. But man, when you go back and look at like that 2008, 2009 period, 2010 of CZW, talking about guys like you, Adam Cole were there, Sami Callihan was there. It was a list of who's who.
It was crazy. But even like before then, like if you go like to like the 2002, 2003 era, and then like you look at guys like low key, because like if it wasn't for a CZW, there wouldn't have been a Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. And then so like you look at the people that they like brought in that CZW Ring of Honor era, freaking like goddamn Claudio and Hero, like I said before, and then like Shelly, Sabin, like Trent, Amazing Red, the SATs, Quiet Storm, like these guys, they innovated so many moves, like and created so much like of a like different feel for pro wrestling that so many people, whether they like to admit it or not, they all jocked off of that era, and like that's why you see like a lot like. Cause and like those guys, they jocked off of like the All Japan, New Japan type, all false finishes, like like man, like everything in this era, you see a lot of Code Reds, like man, who created that goddamn Amazing Red, the SATs, like Spanish Flies, like all this, like it's like goddamn Poison Juanas, like. Oh man, like it's so crazy, man. Like
it was such an innovative time too for you guys. I mean, the stuff you guys were doing in the ring and some of those matches were insane.
Yeah. We took a lot of that stuff from like that era and Dragon Gate, like especially Dragon Gate, like fucking Shima, Dragon Kid, Shingo, Naruki Doi, Yoshino, Yamato, BB Hawk, Ultimo Dragon, all those dudes, like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, Ultimo Dragon, talk about a legend. I mean, it's crazy to think of some of the legends you've been able to work with, that these guys have been able to stick around for so long and still work.
Yes, sir. It is nuts. It is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, you've been a part of some really huge, like it almost seems like every time like you bought up PWG, we bought up CZW, Dragon Gate, even throwing Evolve in there. Yeah. I mean, the talent level. And you were right up there with everybody. It's just wild. Like the independent wrestling scene for like that 8-year stretch may never have been more insanely packed as it was.
It was nuts. It was nuts. Because like not only was it like prospering in America, it was prospering in England, in Scotland, in Ireland, in Japan, in Mexico. Like there were the pick of the litter from who's gonna be your top star? Like, if you think about it, and like the span of like 2012 to 2017, like it was always like, especially when WWE was signing people, it was like, who from Ring of Honor, from Japan, from Mexico, from the top indie promotions is about to get signed next. Like it was like, god damn, because like you had sold like Steve, Generico, Sammy, fucking Brody Lee, Moxley, Callisto, then Mystico from AAA, then goddamn Hideo Itami, which was Kenta, Prince Devitt. Damn, like yo, I could go on. I could go on and on. Like it was nuts. It was like, yo, everybody is getting especially in that time. And too, like the indies wasn't hurting either. Like 100 people at least. It was like, God damn.
Oh yeah, and I think too, like when you talk about just like the Cruiserweight Classic, right? How many doors that did open for guys to get on the mainstream who, maybe it didn't work out in WWE, but were able to go on to Impact. We're able to go on to AEW. And they were so deep. When you talk about the TJPs, yourself, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa, I mean, that tournament was so deep at a time where people were asking, like, I want the Cruiserweight style back. It was something that was people were so fond of. When you mentioned the Benoits, the Malenkos, and all the guys. I mean, it was time to bring it back because you guys brought that style of wrestling back through those periods in those companies in the indies, and people were seeing it now. The internet helped with that,
They did.
It was a blessing. So talk about that time. Like, again, did you feel like when the time came and the opportunity came to go to WWE and work through the Cruiserweight Classic and eventually NXT, did you feel like you were ready then? Did you feel like you were ready before then? I mean, you were doing amazing work before then.
So, I felt like I was ready, of course. And so before the Cruiserweight Classic, I was signed with WWE for about a year and a half, 2 years before it happened. So I was there at NXT. I had a couple of matches, and I was doing the coconut loops, and I probably had about maybe 50 matches within the 2 years. I had 2 TV appearances, but 2 were both like big appearances. One against Baron Corbin, and the second against Finn Balor, who was the NXT champion at the time, and which was a pretty great opportunity. And before that was before the Classic, and I was kind of like, oh man, let's see what's going to happen with this. And I knew it was the right decision because the way that I was receptive through the people, they all know that I love wrestling, and this has always been my biggest dream. So, you know what I'm saying? When I came out and those 2 occasions, like people saw that, and the higher up saw that. And I just would bust my ass as hard as I could behind the scenes too. You know what I'm saying? And like it's just like you get it how you fit in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you work with guys like TJP. I believe TJP is who you won the Cruiserweight title from. Am I right on that?
So it was Brian Kendrick and
that's right.
like
It was Kendrick. That's right.
And with the cruiserweights at that time too, like man, they were like they were asking for something different, and at that time as well, the women were coming up as well, and they were finally getting their due, just like their TV time, their time to shine. Like a lot of them women, they were busting their ass and could work. And then, like you said too, it was a who's in the cruiserweight division, and then bringing people like Metallic and TJP, and then bringing back Brian, saying like Kendrick, like that shit was like it spoke volumes.
And throwing guys like Neville in too, Neville.
Yeah. Oh man, that it was awesome. You know what I'm saying? And the reactions that we were getting, like at Royal Rumble, you know what I'm saying? I got to wrestle, Pac at that time, Neville, for 20 minutes, and in that arena, it was an Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
Yeah, you guys tore the house down in that match.
and people were invested, like, it spoke volumes. And, not even myself, when Tozawa had beaten Neville at Fastlane. You know what I'm saying, for the Cruiserweight Championship, but people lost it. You know what I mean? Like, and people like to talk trash about Enzo Amore, but guess what? That mother sucker, when he gets on the microphone, he draws heat, happiness, sadness, and whatever emotion in between. He's the
Oh,
dude. You know
he's
what I'm saying?
hilarious. I actually got him, and he does. He is so, his work, especially like you said. You talk about a guy that can sell a match and bring heat, bring obviously cheers. I actually had him. I was talking to him and Cass once about fantasy football, and they did I won a league. They actually did a video for me to send and talk shit on everybody in the league, and they talked trash on everybody in a promo. It was great. But no, I mean, you guys, I mean, that roster was so good then, and then I think they even eventually brought in Austin Aries at that time. But
Yeah, they did. They did.
yeah. So what was that like? That moment you beat Brian Kendrick, who's a guy who has been around around a lot of the big companies for many years. WWE, couple runs with WWE. So what was that like for that moment to be able to beat Brian and hold up that title, your first real like WWE title?
That was my first and only WWE championship I've ever won, and you know it was pretty awesome to get that opportunity. It was awesome to wrestle somebody like Brian Kendrick and get that opportunity. You know, he's somebody that I've looked up to, somebody of similar size and stature, um, great conditioning, and somebody that has definitely, you know, help me in this business, you know, become the person that I am. And to have that match with him, you know what I'm saying? Like in that platform, like there's nothing, you know, that you could even say, like, and especially to do the honors, you know what I mean? Like when you join this business and you get in this business and you have been given a level of success and you don't let it make you into a monster and you're able to take somebody young and take that success that you have been given, you know what I'm saying, and that you've earned as well, but you take that success and you pass that on, you know what I mean? It means a lot. And you know what I mean? I'll never forget that. Like,
Yeah,
just an awesome moment, you know?
you know what? It's interesting that you say that too, because as a person who's talked to you a few times at the arena, and I don't even know if I ever told you this story, but like I will tell people out there, whether you're an aspiring wrestler or you're just a fan who wants to have a moment with Rich, you are one of the most approachable guys that is out there. And I mean, a lot of you guys, especially in that environment, it's a really cool environment.
Yeah.
But you are one of the most approachable people, and it's not just myself multiple times, and that was how we were able to get you on here. It was other people, and I can tell you, I took my niece and nephew last year when you guys did the tapings at the 2300 arenas. My niece and nephew, they were 9 and 6, first show, and I told you about it, and you made a big deal about them. You took pictures with, and it was the biggest thrill of their lives, you know.
That's
so,
awesome.
I mean, you could tell that you've learned from the right people, and you are extremely gracious and humble for the opportunity that you have, and you have earned it. I mean,
Gotta be.
You put yourself through a lot of. I mean, if you watch Rich's style, it's not a Hogan style. You're not doing leg drops and clotheslines, brother. You know
Hey, I tell you what, man. It took 30 plus years for him to start getting back surgeries and fusions and stuff for them leg drops. Damn, they did the damage. They did do the damage. But that mother sucker was smart, brother. God damn it. He said, dude. But then, bro, he's 6'7", 300 plus pounds. Yo, does he have to do a moonsault? Hell no. If I see this dude jumping fucking 6 feet in the air, dropping his leg on some dude's throat, and they're choking to death, and that's what causes them to stay down for 3, bro, I'm definitely doing that. I wish somebody had another 6 inches on my ass. Watch what the fuck happens. I'm big booting the shit out of motherfuckers. Yo, they not, if motherfuckers ain't even gonna be able to, add 2 more feet to me, bro. Yo, I am choke slamming the shit out of
Time
everyone.
changer. That's a game changer for you.
There will never be another 450 coming off of this body again. That shit hurt. I'm choke slamming the shit out of them. Ooh,
That is amazing.
I'm sorry. Excuse my language.
Oh, you're good. We're here. You can speak for It is true, though, man. You are, I mean, your style, and again, if you want a fun experience, you are a person that you go and watch and have a great time, and then have a great conversation if you happen to catch him walking by. I'm telling you, guys got to go out and see Rich anywhere, anywhere in the U.S. that he's at. But yeah, you were very gracious to them. So I wanted to tell you personally, I appreciated that.
That's what's up.
I do want to dive into Impact, obviously, because eventually, we're going to be moving over to Impact. I want to talk about your time there, and I want to talk about Slammiversary this weekend. We're going to take a quick, about a 50-second break. We got a commercial we're going to run for Philly Sports Trips, and then we're going to come back on the other side with Rich Swann.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
All right. And there you guys saw our friends over at Philly Sports Trips. Hollis Thomas, former Philadelphia Eagle, spearheading a lot of those trips. He's got many other Philadelphia Eagles that join. And if you didn't catch him, obviously Thursdays, him and Irving Fryer do a show here on A2D Radio called Vetted. Make sure you guys are checking them out. We're back here, Lazy Booking, bringing you a special conversation here with Rich Swann, Impact Wrestling superstar, former X Division, former world champion, hopefully future tag team champion after this Saturday.
We'll see, hopefully.
But Rich, you eventually find your way over to Impact. I've loved your run as far as Impact because you have done everything in terms of you've gone to the X Division, you've won the world title, you've worked with really anybody there is to work over there between the Ken Shamrocks, who's a very special friend of this show.
Yes, sir.
You worked with and against your buddy Willie Mack, who I loved watching you guys work together. Can you talk about, obviously going over it because it's different too, right? WWE, you're doing like weekly tapings and weekly shows.
Yes, sir.
Here, you guys do kind of more stretches of tapings and to lead you into your pay-per-views.
Yes, sir. WWE, it's more of a tight schedule, but with Impact, you got more of a free schedule. You got the taping, regimen that they do. But everything with Impact, though, it's been amazing. Like from backstage to everything that, I've been given, opportunity-wise. It's just been something that, I'll never take for granted. And, if you watch the product, from, guys like Chris Bay and Ace Austin to guys like myself and Eddie Edwards and Sammy and Moose and, you know what I'm saying? From anything to the AAA field, before, there was a LA Knight, there was an Eli Drake. Before,
right.
You know what I'm saying? There was the 1%er. There was the EC3 that we saw in TNA. Before, you know what I'm saying? There was the Lucha Bros at AEW that you see. There was the Lucha Bros of Impact Wrestling. And Impact Wrestling has always been the launching pad. It's always been the place to where people with talent, they always go. And then when they can become a brighter star which nobody is taking, any shots at, or nobody is being fault at. Come up out of your star, you know what I mean? You take those opportunities. But like Impact has always been the launching pad to where, you know what I'm saying? They're always taking in guys that have that daggone special twilight, that special twang. You know what I mean? And like coming from a place where like AJ and Christopher Daniels and fucking like Homicide and Sabin and Shelly, like I said before, like got their shine, you know what I mean? Like after WWE, I was like, yo, I don't want to go to Lucha Underground. No disrespect to that platform at the time, but that's not what I wanted to do. I just want to make movies. I wanted to be in a wrestling aspect, a wrestling platform. And, Impact at the time, especially my wife was there too. I was like, yo, I'm going here. This is what's up. There were a lot of people there too as well that definitely drew me to that platform, and it was definitely the right decision. And then you fast forward to this weekend at Slammiversary, and seeing people that was driving me to come out of retirement that I I'd went into after I'd had a depression and everything. I'm about to tag with him this Sunday. Saying, well, no, this Saturday on the 15th, Slammiversary.
Yeah,
I'm so used to pay-per-views being on Sunday.
I know it's
God
crazy.
Damn it!
Which, by the way, why did it take this long to get them to Saturday so we don't have to get up early and shit the next day after the pay-per-view?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish as a kid that when Steve Austin and Bret Hart were going through their worst of times during the WrestleMania 13 pickup. Like, God damn it, please be on Saturday. I don't have to get up fucking early to go to school. The hell, bro? Why are you gonna do some shit like that to a kid? It's geared to children.
Or your parents
like, yo, bro.
Your parents would do the thing where they'd be like, you could watch the first hour and then we'll record it. You can watch it tomorrow. It's like,
man, no, hell no. My mom would not order that shit. Hell no. She'd be like, you got school in the morning. In the summer pay-per-views? Oh, hell yeah. Okay. We got that.
So SummerSlam was like the one.
You know what I'm saying? But like WrestleMania? What? Your report, your third, or what was it? Like the third quarter. Your third report card better had been on point if you wanted to see some WrestleMania. What? And my ass, I'm not a goody two shoes. I'm not suggesting, my report card was perfect. So guess what? WrestleMania was not in my house. I had to go to a friend's house or something like that. You know what I mean?
So yeah, it's so true. And the card looks really, really great. Before I dive into the card this weekend, I do want to ask you about a big moment, I think, in your career, and a really important moment in pro wrestling over the last 5 years. And that was you winning the world title, and then you and Kenny Omega obviously having that Forbidden Door cross feud, which I thought your matches were really great. I thought you represented Impact extremely well against somebody like Kenny Omega, to a lot of people, is arguably the greatest wrestler in the world.
He's the greatest. But I tell you what, though, what's funny is I was in the first ever Forbidden Door before there was a pay-per-view.
You were.
Or it was coined as a freaking, term. I was in the first Forbidden Door match with the first, title from another national company, from another title from another national television company on the line against each other, bro. Like, it wasn't nobody doing that. And, like, to be in that position was crazy. And, like, that got me. And I know people don't, they don't, look at the PWI as a credible source as, who's the best anymore? But I tell you what, I never put myself in as a goddamn, I should be this, da 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 da. I didn't vote for anything because guess what? I don't even have social freaking media. I don't have a
No.
Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have none of that BS. So any of you wrestlers that, you know, are relying on that, you're sacrificial lamb. You know, you're going to get got officially one day. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, freaking from that match and from people's subjective beliefs, that got me in the top 10. I was the top. Think about that. Little cruiserweight, junior heavyweight Rich Swann was the top 10 wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
Any little kid going in a super fresh Walmart, a goddamn Safeway, whatever the hell goddamn place that has a magazine stand that picked up a wrestling magazine because they saw freaking AJ Styles or
Pull those
hell.
Pro Wrestling Illustrateds out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They saw, oh, wow, number 10, Rich Swann. Wow, what's this guy look like? Yo, bro, do you know how many people sent me in text? Congratulations for becoming top 10. What? Stop. Stop.
I'm telling you, it was an amazing moment. It really was. You're absolutely right. And in a lot of ways, I actually think, because we'd seen cross promoting before in terms of like AAA in the U.S. and Japan in the U.S. So to see a major company in the U.S. work with another major company in the U.S. was pretty wild. To watch that whole thing kind of play out. And you even had Christian Cage come over and work with you guys for a while.
Yeah, he did. He did. He was the one to dethrone Kenny from the Impact Championship before Josh Alexander became Impact Champion. Yes.
That's a great dude right there too. By the way, I hope Godspeed to him that he comes back and he's ready to go.
Oh, he definitely will. He's one of the strongest people that I've ever been in the ring with, and he's definitely determined to be back as quick as possible. And he's on that path to where he is going to be revered as one of the best wrestlers in the world, Josh Alexander.
Oh, I'm sure he gets it all the time. I look at him and he's like the Canadian version of Kurt Angle, and that's not in a disrespectful way.
Canadian Angle. Yeah, no, you're right.
They are like 1 and 1A when you watch those two guys work together, and his ability to talk has gotten so good. I mean, he had Ethan Page with him, who was usually the talker before.
Yeah,
he took that away.
He was silent. Yeah, and not only that though, but like his gas tank, his energy is just like, if you take a look at the match that he had with TJP, the Iron Man match that went the distance and they had to do the sudden death. If you take a look at that match, which is on YouTube for free, you know, sometimes I'll take a look at that match and I'm like, man, I'll like just watch a portion of the match and be like, yo, these guys' gas tanks are unbelievable. TJP too, who's been wrestling since like 1999, legit, like no freaking BS, and he's young too. Like he's probably
one of the suicides at one point, I think. Him and
oh yeah, Suicide, Manic. He was Prince, or well, not Prince Puma, but he was the original Puma in TNA. Freaking bro, like he's had so many like Ring of Honor matches like that. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, TJP was in this. Like,
yeah, it's great. I mean, but you guys have such a stacked card this weekend. Looking at, I mean, Scott D'Amore stepping back in the ring. What's that
man?
Like,
bro, it's crazy. I watched this dude get set on fire, bro. Like, to watch that is nuts. So I can't wait to see, especially in his hometown, to see what that reaction is like, bro. Oh, come on. It's gonna be nuts. I'm like, yo, this
got that Canadian Destroyer down too.
Oh yeah, this is the type of stuff that puts Impact back on the map. Like, it makes people talk again. It makes people look at us like we're not a dying company. Because I hate that. Oh, whoa, I can't believe you work for TNA. I thought that place was dead. No, mother suckers. We are alive and running, baby.
you guys through COVID, and it's you're absolutely right. Like, I think the television deals that were kind of all over the place didn't do any favors, but I especially look at you guys through COVID, and
100%.
when you look at Undertaker and AJ Styles, and you look at like all these different things, the Hardys, you guys innovated the cinematic presentation when we couldn't do regular things.
100%.
I mean,
I'd give it to Lucha Underground too, because they, like I said before, like that was a product that I definitely respected, but I didn't want to be a part of at that time.
Yeah.
Especially since we had crowds. But I definitely would say that Impact definitely took that, structure and was like, okay, how can we take that and make it into our own, especially during the time. And then you got a place like WWE who's like, okay, how can we take what they just took and make it into our own? And they have the production fucking value of, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. So like they're gonna be that AJ Undertaker was a mini movie. You know what I'm saying? If only
they did the Money in the Bank, even the way they presented the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Money in the Bank. It was awesome. Yeah. If only Who Shot Johnny Bravo was produced like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe people would have fucking, you know what I'm saying, look at it. But look, they're the Mega Mobile. They are the guys.
I love that stuff, by the way. What's it, Wrestler's House or whatever it is? Oh,
yeah, Wrestle House Wrestling. Yes, indeed. It was amazing. But then, like, if in 3 years WWE does a concept like that, they're gonna do it to a effect where it's like, God damn it.
But I feel like the way you guys do it, maybe some of it not having as much of an open budget makes it even better. Like I love that Legends House thing is some of the best stuff you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Personalities.
It definitely was. It definitely was awesome. It was awesome because, like, especially during that time, like being able to be as creative like that, like when our backs were against the wall and we don't have that budget, that should give us the goddamn clout. Like, and we didn't have, and no offense, a big Mr. Billionaire, but Tony Khan or Ed Khan money. We ain't have that. Fucking, we was out there doing it, on our own. Like, and then they took our whole production team, but that's another thing. I ain't even gonna get to
that. This card though this weekend looks so good. I mean, obviously your title matches are big. You have Nick Aldis coming back. We've had Nick on the show. Nick is phenomenal. Bringing Leo Russian, who we also had on here before. So it's funny. I was looking at the list. I'm like, there's a bunch of our former guys, and now we're gonna add your name to the list. But I mean, this is one of the biggest shows of the year for Impact, and you guys should definitely check it out. And I want to be respectful of your time. I want you to go back with your family, but I want to just ask you.
Hey.
You mentioned your wife Sue Young, who again has been a staple, and specifically in that company, women's wrestling has been next level for 20 years at this point. But it's I mean, and I want to ask you about becoming a parent and fatherhood and how that's changed your life.
Man, it's definitely changed my life because I'm not just thinking about myself. I'm thinking about my family, and I'm thinking about this boy's future. So, it's definitely something awesome. It's definitely good to see this boy smile. Yeah. Yes, sir.
He's a handsome man, awesome. Handsome little man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
We appreciated your time. I want to let you get back to your family. So say hi to Sue for us. And hey, I'm looking forward. Have a good luck this weekend. I'll catch you.
Hey, we'll see. Hey,
October.
Yes, sir. In October, my brother, we'll see you there.
All right.
We're all gonna be there.
Absolutely. Everybody come out. Come see Rich and see all the wonderful talent that works there. And anywhere you guys can catch Rich at. Go to the Impact tapings. They're worth fun. Rich, thank you again, brother. And listen, have a great evening. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, my brother.
Oh,
Hey, you
my
cut
brother.
out. I can't hear you.
Oh, I said
Oh,
again.
oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. We're good. I'll text them what I said. But listen, guys, great show today. Fantastic interview with Rich. We kept it right around where I wanted to go, around the 45-minute mark, which we're going to go a couple seconds past that. But what a fun interview, fun guy. And I'm telling you, you get an opportunity to go out and see Rich. Go check him out. Wonderful worker. You can watch a lot of his stuff on the network or Impact Plus or on Impact Television on Thursday nights. Impact will be on tonight, actually, for their lead into the pay-per-view, which is, again, this Saturday, July 15th. Slammiversary, which you can check out on FITE TV and also wherever you check out your local cable providers. So this was a great show. I want to thank Frank on the back end. Thank you to our sponsor, Specialized Physical Therapy. You can find them in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey for the physical locations, or you can find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. No appointment necessary. So make sure you check out our doctor. He's going to take good care of you. Tell him A2D sent you over. And obviously, you guys get an opportunity. Birds fans, get out there. Check out Philly Sports Trips. Hollis Thomas, one of the spearheads of all that. It's a 5-for-5 sports travel company, premium travel, and tailgating experience for the passionate fans of Philadelphia sports. You can find him at phillysportstrips.com. Stay tuned, too, guys, because we're going to be announcing a few more interviews. I feel like I can mention this one from talking to him. So I'm going to mention another one. It looks like we might be getting one Mr. Tyler Breeze very, very soon, as in within the next week or so, to join us as a guest. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, and maybe we have more on the horizon for someone in particular who's very up and coming and making a big name for herself, not just in the U.S. but in the U.K. So we'll tease that one in case we can make that one happen. That's about getting a time difference together. But anyway, thank you to Frank on the back end. Thank you to Ralph, who also made this magical thing happen, and Big Dad for giving me the green light to make this happen. Obviously not the usual. It's a pre-recorded show, not our live show. But we wanted to make sure, as A2D, we like to do what we can for the fam. We wanted to make sure that we worked with Rich and his availability, as well as bring you guys the best content, best interviews, best conversations that you could find anywhere, not just in the Philadelphia area, anywhere for sports conversation. So for myself, Chrome, Frank Vespi, Ralph Delavecchio, and everybody here at A2D Radio, make sure you guys are checking out our shows. Like, subscribe, follow on all social media platforms. I think we're even on Threads now. So if you're getting on there, which everybody seems to be, find us on there. That's a new one. If you're, for a lot of you guys out there, may not have us on there yet. So thank you guys again, and take care of yourselves. Give someone a hug. Have a great night.